Because now they're going up here at a great rate of knots to get the second of the sprints today. We're still Mappe working hard in the front. Good work, Sean, eh?
Yes, well, they're working very well. They're pulling off the time bonuses from the other riders who are in a position to take the jersey from Bulgordi.
And Taffy leading out here. It looks like he's easing back. He's going to get across there. This long, hard drag up toward the finish. Look like Taffy's going to take that one. Yes, he has. Taffy's just gone through, and he's looking back there. So they've got 1 and 2 across here. That's a great move then, putting a Devela up there too. And in third spot, Badrogi went to 2 as well. So the sprinters who were coming through haven't gone for any more of the bonifications in the overall classification. They obviously, I think, have decided to just keep their powder dry until we get to the next of the sprints in 20 kilometres time. There, Badrogi getting a good lead out again. Mappe went on their tactics, Sean.
Yes, well, they worked it very well actually. The riding on the front. We would have expected the like of Steels and Hunter to be up there, but you know, Taffy, he's a guy who likes this sort of job, riding on the front and stretching out the bunch and going and taking these the time bonifications as we've seen him just do.
Well, there we are. That's the rundown. That's how we got it. And Mappe, clean sweep, 1, 2 and 3. Well, Dr. Squins is going to be pleased about that one. Look, they're not rehearsing for the Paris-Roubaix, are they? Which seems to have been their métier in the past. But here we are on the Paris-Nice with them getting 1, 2 and 3. Mappe looking very strong indeed. That Badrogi is going to take some stopping from the yellow jersey, Sean, at this rate or not, eh?
Well, I think in the days to come he will be in. He will have problems in some of the more hillier stages. He's a very big, tall guy. I don't know a lot about him, but I reckon he will have some problems on the harder days.
So Badrogi in the yellow. Get himself 1 second bonus there. So he picked up a couple of seconds bonus, which will help him on the run in through now. And just looking at as they start to go here. Now that's the man who's lying second. That's Roos at the moment. Didier Roos from Bonjour starts to go in the green jersey. And Fazio Bortolo, they have got to do something here with Pataki, I'd have thought, to go away. But of course this is also the third category climb for the first King of the Mountains competition. So looks like Roos might be going for this particular one, although he's wearing the green jersey as the points leader. Fazio Bortolo stretching this one. Now, will they persist when they get over the top? There's the line. We'll get confirmation of that one to see the situation behind us. There's no time bonus here, by the way, just the glory of taking the first King of the Mountains competition. That's Kirchen from Luxembourg. There's another man we haven't seen anything of on our screens very much in years gone by, so there's going to be a few changes here of the old guard. Some of them still riding hard, but some of the new guys coming up as well. So Kirchen, if I got that right, from the Fazio Bortolo team, will be leading on the King of the Mountains competition. I think they've changed the jersey round too. Instead of having a white jersey with the red dots like you have on the Tour de France, I think we're going to find a red jersey with white dots. White being the colour of the Paris-Nice, the race to the sun. And again, confirmation coming up. They certainly have decided off the top of that climb to keep the pressure going, and interesting little groups breaking up here. Yeah, certainly confirmed then that Kirchen will take the polka dot jersey at the end of it all. Roos then in the green jersey. Did you get all the numbers then, Sean?
Yes. Brochard was second, and Flico was third. It's on our screen at the moment, and we see here they're slowing up, so it will, give a chance to the guys who've lost a little bit of ground to come back. And I would see it all, regrouping. I would be surprised if there's anybody really left behind on this climb, because it's, it was only 800 or 900 meters, so the gap will not be great enough for a group to get away to stay to the finish.
And looking down there for the yellow jersey. There's lots of yellow jerseys coming up now, because they're the coast team are in yellow. The Once team are also in yellow, but the man leading overall has got the bluish coloured pants, and I can see him there. Bodrogi's made it up there, and he's just keeping an eye on people now. So there's 10 seconds bonus at the end, and in fact, as far as Bodrogi's concerned, he has picked up 2 seconds bonus, so he can add 2 to most people up there, which means that, you've got to go down to about 15th spot. Robbie McEwen is still 9 seconds adrift of Bodrogi. If Robbie wins the sprint, and he's probably one of the few riders who can win the sprint from what I call the true sprinters, looking down, Pataki also is 8 seconds, or Pataki is 1 less than McEwen. Even if Pataki got the sprint, because Bodrogi's had 2 seconds bonus, it'll put him equal on points. I hope it doesn't sound too complicated if you feel back at home and you say, I'm going back to knitting or digging the garden because I can't understand what the hell he's on about. There are these bonuses that take off the overall time, and cycle racing in the stages, it's all about time. Every day the rider's time from the start of the race to when they finish is recorded, and so if this lot came in together, they would all be given the same time today, because you can't differentiate between them unless the gap opens up and there's a clear gap in the wheels, or over a second gap between them, so they get a bulk time the same. But to make the race more interesting, is this it's Carnarvon, yes. No, there we are. So the thing to do if you're going to try and get the race to become a bit more exciting as far as the rides are concerned is to give bonuses at the end of the stage, and also at a couple of sprints on the way through. And the bonuses at the finish here will be 10 seconds off your time, 6 seconds to the second place man, and 4 seconds for the man after that. And so with Bodrogi this morning setting out with about 17 riders within 9 seconds of him, he had a few danger riders there, but they weren't good sprinters, except for just hovering there, Pataki, McEwen and Jalabert, and possibly Cloden, who could come up that slope if he put his mind to it. But so there we go. Because the other people, a lot of people in there want to win this race. To hell with the yellow jersey, they want to get there and just have the glory of winning a stage in the Paris-Nice, the 60th version being run before your very eyes, and Carnarvon, winner of the Paris-Roubaix, deciding to throw caution to the wind. But Sean, a bit, out of sight, out of mind is a good old way to go. But this a bit too flat and too open, isn't it?
Yes, well, it's a very difficult one for a guy to stay away here, especially with the bunch being, almost everybody there. There's going to be a lot of teams who is going to take up the pace setting because of having a sprinter in the team. So for a guy, or even for 2 or 3 guys to stay away here, it would be very, very difficult. They would have to ride extremely hard.
Well, he's caught back again then, and green and white jersey beginning to amass on the front then for the Credit Agricole team. So many French teams have got to do well in this race to catch the eye of the selectors to the Tour de France. So there's races within races going on here. That's Chioni on the front, the rider from the Mappe team, I think born in Reading in Britain, and speaks quite good English, and he's riding with the Mappe team. Again, a very international squad, the Mappe team, because they've got not only riding here today a man born in Reading of all places. Reading! Wogan's way of putting the name Reading before you, but we've also got riding for the Mappe Quick Step, the Hungarian Bodrogi, wearing 171 is back. Chioni there, just saw him, the Italian 172. The Belgian rider De Vale, he came through in that run through the finish area. He is 173, he's from Belgium. The Australian Cadel Evans, the other rider who speaks English fluently, is the rider from South Africa, Robert Hunter, 174. Holzman's from Belgium, Steele's also Belgium, and Andre Taffy from Italy. So they've got 3 Belgians, one from Australia, one from South Africa, a Hungarian in there too, and a couple of Italians. So it's a right mixed bag as far as Mappe are concerned. A very international company. They're involved in specialist chemicals for sticking purposes, and also for things like specialist cements and paints as well. And the co-sponsor with the team, this lot called Quick Step, they're in the parquet flooring business, and they call it Quick Step. It's a quick way of putting down your parquet flooring. I don't think you need much glue. It has a special click way of coming together, and they are a Belgian-based team, and they've been co-sponsoring the Mappe team for some years now, who are well past 500 victories in their career. One of the most dominant teams, still dominating this race at the front. looking across that line, Sean, that Mappe lot seem to have lost steam. Is this just tactics, or have they blown it going so long at the front?
No, I think the Mappes are they're taking this one quite well. They're just riding when they have to ride, but not doing too much to the front. There's quite a few Mappe guys back in the second and first and second line here of the bunch. So I think that, there's quite a lot of them around there all the time. We will see him. I think in the final kilometres they will come again with quite a number of riders at the front to lead out this sprint. But there is no point in having everybody in the front riding too hard when you don't have to do it, and that's exactly what they're doing. I think they're playing the tactic right at this moment.
Well, with this drag up toward the finish, though, they're starting to go away now. Then is it
appears?
Yeah, is it going to be something more for people to try and do what they're doing here with that long drag? Because I don't think in the old days we'd see like the Seiko team with Cipollini being completely controlled from about 10 kilometres out. They just go full bore, about sort of 6 blokes on the front, and behind there would be Cipollini, and that's that you couldn't come past. But this is A, slightly undulating, but B, when they come to finish, there is that drag. Does that change completely the lead-out tactics?
Well, I think here it changes because the riders, you haven't got as many teams who are being riders to the front. And when we talk with the Tour of France, the speed I think is that bit higher. So you have to have a number of riders from a team to keep the speed very, very high and not to allow your sprinter to get crowded out. In this situation, the road is not it doesn't allow that, first of all, and there's not as many teams riding to get riders up to the front, and it's an easier one here to control the thing than it would be in the final of his Tour of France stage.
But how about the standard of fitness at this early in the season with the teams? Do they all know how good or bad they are?
Well, some of the guys, a lot of the guys would be unsure. You could ride a race like Valencia. You could be, riding quite well in that, but it might not be just as hard as this one. And day after day for 3 or 4 days, one after the other, that can really take its toll, and you could pay for towards the end of this race, where you might have had that test until this early in the season.
Well, they are a really fragmented bunch of different teams on the front at the moment. They seem to be bag of different riders. We can see one from La France de Joux on the front at the moment, and then can't see the chap who's coming through next at the moment, but we'll shortly sort him out. The green and white jerseys have been quite prominent working hard was the Crédit Agricole. They seem to have blown a gasket and drifted off again, and it's Mappe, I think, doing the marking here up at the front, and then behind the green shorts with the white and yellowy green on the front, that's the lads from the Phonak team. That's the team from Switzerland, very much involved in cycle racing in the last couple of years, but they seem to have lost steam. Now, Sean, come on. You're watching this with bated breath. What's going to happen now?
Well, I think, as I said, we will see. We will see this situation, a number of riders going off the front, but not getting any advantage, with a chance of staying away. And we will see in the final kilometres, then the teams with the sprinters will start appearing in the last 3, 4, 5 kilometres, and they will start to wind it up, especially the Mappes, because they have Steels and they have Hunter there. They have 2 sprinters, and there's Pataki as well. All those teams, we will see him coming to the front, try to keep their sprinter up there.
Well, let's give you some of the colours. You'll see some of the numbers there too as well. I noticed that the Telecom team in the pink and black beginning to move their riders forward. Honda wears 44 on his back. We're just inside those final 10 kilometres to go now. It is a bit of left hand and right hand. They work their way through the town. By no means a great long straight before you hit another little bend. That'll sort of slim them down a bit like squeezing the toothpaste out of the tube. And so now they're thinning out even further. To make your way up, you've really got to start ducking and diving in the gutter. And so I think that probably the front end of that lot is where we're going to get our victor from today. Great acceleration, and again the La Française de Joux up the front there, looking for a chance of getting this one. Their team then Sandy Cazard, Baden Cook, Nicolas Fritsch, Frédéric Guédon, Regis Lohelia, Christophe Mignon, Jean-Cyril Robin and Matthew Wilson. A couple of Australians in there for the La Française de Joux, but they've drifted off the front as the ever-present Mappe move their men up into a controlling position. The yellow jersey in the far right-hand side, Bodrogi, took that after the time trial yesterday. The 5 kilometre time trial average speed of 27 miles an hour, so he's got a good turn of speed. This long drag up here, if he stays near the front, means that he could well keep that jersey. And again, Mappe moving their way through. Well, we might be leaping off air very quickly when we get to the end of this one, because I'm sure we'll run into our next programme, by the way. So a quick word then about this man, Bodrogi. 78th in the UCI top rankings as at the start of this season. He picked up some more points yesterday. 26 years of age, comes from Hungary, started his career riding with a couple of French amateur teams in Besançon and Lyon and the CC Uteb. Good time trialist too as well, finished second in the Chrono des Herbiers last year and was fifth in the World Championship and second in the Grand Prix de Nation, so he's got a good turn of speed, but he's won something, like 7 victories in the year 2000, and last year he mainly up amongst the time trials too as well, and he won a couple of stages in the Tour de l'Avenir when he really became noted by us, and he had 8 victories last year in the season as well. So he rides that Mappe team, he's riding in the yellow jersey. There is Taffy going through, there is Bodrogi on your screen now, and of course most of the British supporters know of him as a man who was caught by Jan Ulrich running into the finish of the World Time Trial Championship when they were getting the gold medal and inscribing the name David Miller on it, and then a bit of battle ensued, and Ulrich got the gold medal and David finished the second spot, and then Bodrogi finished back there in 5th spot, but nevertheless he was up there going very well indeed towards the back end. That's the man in the yellow jersey now, probably didn't get a Christmas card from David Miller. All back together again, 7.6 kilometres to go. Any chance of somebody who's just mad enough to ride off down the road and just go for it, although they're going to play the tactics now, Sean? Is it other team directors talking to them over their radios, putting more control in so you don't get any nutcase nipping off?
Yeah, I'm surprised that there isn't anybody trying to nip off at the moment, because the speed is not that high. We can see the bunches very much grouped together, and the riders are coming up left and right. So that that answers the question. The speed is not really high, and it's surprising there's not somebody having a go. But definitely, at this pace, if they keep it at this pace coming into the finish, we will see some guys trying to nip off. And I think as the finish as well, this uphill finish, we can see a guy who, as I said earlier, we could see a guy going, for example, Matt Downs, a guy who would go for a bit of a long sprint, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he does that.
Well, Crédit Agricole getting near the front, someone like Jens Voigt, for instance, and Hushford, they're both big, powerful men, aren't they?
Yes, Voigt is another one who can do that sort of move, and we definitely could see some of those guys having a try at that.
And there's Hushford, 54, as we just mentioned, in the green and white. We'll see him going through as well. Hino, number 53, again moving up with the Crédit Agricole team in the green and the white. So are they getting themselves in a good position for an onslaught? They're getting a bit chopped into the gutter. This is dangerous territory, surely, Sean.
Yes, we can see there now that the road is fully packed, and that just shows that it is slowed down. It's not going at full throttle, as we say, and we can see there's an attack, as we were saying. There's somebody will have to attack, because this pace, it's an opportunity for somebody to try and have a go.
Well, the Euskadi teams, they certainly have enlivened bike racing in recent years. They were very much what I might call underfunded team over the years, and they have certainly started to come good now. This is Flores. There are 2 Flores brothers, and one of them, this is the best of the 2 Flores brothers, did remarkably well in the Tour de l'Avenir. I'm just trying to scratch my head whether he won the actual thing, but now he's done just the thing you have to do then, because I wouldn't rate the Euskadi team when it comes to a sprint. Well, they've got a pretty good hitter, Cesar Soulon, the big bloke who'd like to ride, I think, off the front, but again, Flores it is here, who's beginning to stretch the field, and he's beginning to go rather quickly too. This must cause confusion in the ranks.
Well, yes, this will definitely get the teams working, especially the Mappe. They will have to react right away inside the 5 kilometre mark. They can't allow somebody to slip away like this, because they have to ride for the jersey first of all, but also they have 2 very good sprinters in Hunter and Steele. So they've got to try and keep this thing together for the sprint.
What would something like McEwen do? He's quite well known for finding his own way through, though, isn't he? So would you rate him just to look for Hunter and steals, or was he going to try and get somewhere from the Lotto team to do something about it?
Well, I think the Lotto team are a team which can prepare a sprint very well, and he also have Van Petegem. There could be a tactic between them where he would follow Van Petegem, and he would prepare the sprint from until the last 200 metres. There's a lot of opportunities there from, but I think sometimes Hunter or McEwen, he likes to follow wheels and follow the other sprinters.
Well, I thank you from the Royal United Hospital at Bath when they gave me that anaesthetic and knocked me out. I thought it might knock my brains out, but it hasn't. I've got it right. I just looked at the book, and Ico Flores it was that got the Tour de l'Avenir. He won that one in the year 2000, so the old brain cells are still working. Thanks for all the wonderful work you did there, and thanks to my colleagues in the ward there, Reg and Roger and David, who entertained the nurses and myself for those days when all the work was being done. And my goodness, now to be back in action, this is great, and it's beginning to go well. I hope you're enjoying the start of Eurosport's coverage of cycling, and we're looking forward to having your company throughout right the way the long season. We don't finish until October, and with 3.7 kilometres to go, the first one you're going to see on your screen, a live sprint finish here. We did cover the Cyclo-Cross World Championship with Hugh Porter there in the gumboots, giving you the rundown on that particular race, which was dominated by the Belgians. Is a Belgian going to get the victory today? They don't quite have the edge and sprinting they used to do. Tom Steele's had a bad year last year, some sort of virus. He's got over that one, but will he have to work for Hunter? We're now then getting up towards 3 kilometres to go in the run-in toward the finish of this stage one. Well, again, Taffy doing a wonderful job there, but I think he's running out of steam looking after the interests of the Maffei team, and so it's beginning to be every man for himself right now. And you can see the lightish greyish white colours. That is Fassa Bortolo moving through now for Pataki, who's had those wonderful 3 back-to-back victories at Tour of Valencia. Can he do it yet again then? No sign of the Aussie national jersey of Robbie McEwen, who seems to have missed out a bit, or is he on the far side? In fact, I think he is. But he's moved back. He must be a 15th back from the front. The pink jersey on the far side there. That Hondo is their specialist sprinter, but I don't think that was Hondo. I think he's on the right-hand side, but still now has Fassa Bortolo taken over. Any predictions at the moment, Sean?
Well, the Fassa Bortolo have quite a few guys here on the front, but I think Kirsipu is my favourite. Kirsipu, Pataki, Hunter.
Right, good on you, because Kirsipu, very strong man. He got a stage into, was it Neves 2 years ago on the Tour of on the Paris-Nice. He got that one. He's a very strong rider indeed. He's had 93 victories, so that's the blue colour. That's Angeluto in the centre there, and the bluish, darkish blue with a whitish stripe round about him. So it looks like Angeluto, past winner of the Tour of Switzerland, is being given the job to take Kirsipu towards the back end. So the Estonian then, a very strong, hard man indeed, and this really is his territory. You could be right there, Sean, but certainly at the moment the yellow jerseys disappeared with 1 kilometre to go to the finish. Still then, the Fassa Bortolo team for Pataki winding it up on the front.
And we can see the telecom of Hondo, I think, is there also.
Yeah, so Hondo, a very fast man on a run-in like this one as well. So with Fassa Bortolo working hard here, they've also got another card to play, because Tassato's a pretty good rider, and he'll be taking through too, and Ivan Basso too. So there's no doubt strength in depth from the riders there with the blue pants, and that's a chance for them to get this one. But Sean,
yes, and
come on.
See McEwen here is about 6th or 7th position. He's moving up. He's starting to push on one of the guys to his left-hand side.
Still then, Pataki and Tassato doing the work at the front. There we can see Kirsipu coming through, that little yellowish flash on the top of his hat there, and beginning to move. And yeah, that's Kirsipu starting to move, winding it up, moves up on the right hand side. Kirsipu drops in the 2nd spot at the moment then, and Kirsipu then having to wait. There's one of the riders, I think that's Murenhout from the Domo Farm Prix, but Kirsipu starts to go for this one on the minute as up comes McEwen, but I don't think it was Pataki from Kirsipu and McEwen, 1, 2 and 3. He left it a bit late, did Robert McEwen, but certainly Pataki did what he does so well. He zoomed through there, came almost from nowhere, and that's yet another victory for Fassa Bortolo. we'll look at the slow motion of that one, and Sean, who's got virtually a nap hand there, can take you through it. But that was they were going fast, going slow. Here we go, Sean. Come on, take us through it.
Yes, we see Pataki here. He takes it on. No, not Pataki. It's a teammate actually of Pataki. But Kirsipu, he was in a very good position, and but the Pataki was definitely stronger. We see Hunter. He's coming, here on the right-hand side of the screen. He's coming very fast, but just too late.
So there were then.
But Pataki was definitely the strongest.
Gosh, he left very late, didn't he? I think probably. Let's watch this. They're Kirsipu in the centre. Here he comes on the right-hand side, screaming, isn't he?
Yes, he's going very strong. But Kirsipu, we see him with about 150 to 100 metres out. He didn't take the front too early. He looked around him a bit and he waited that moment, and it was the perfect thing to do. He worked his tactic very well, Kirsipu, but just I think this finish was a little bit too uphill for him, and Pataki was by far the strongest in this run-in.
Well, Fassa Bortolo, my goodness, what a team it is too, because they a very crafty team, probably what I call a nicely balanced team again. They did a lot of work and it all paid off in the end. So they began to sort themselves out. Yes, you're right, they had to wait. My goodness, his judgment. But the delay of McEwen, look, McEwen's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, must have been about 10 back. McEwen starts to go on the left-hand side. He left that an awful long time.
Yes, he came from a long way back, too far back really, too much ground to make up in that at that distance from the finish.
Poof. I think Kirsipu thought he got it until the way Pataki came zooming past him there. Here we are, watch it again. That's power. Well, certainly Pataki has been going well. You'll see he always has done this in previous years with his ability to sprint at this early part of the season, but for some reason this seems to have faded a bit back on. But looking back to what he's done so far this season, that best was the Tour of Valencia, must have been, when he got stages 1, 2 and 3, so he got the hat-trick there. Somehow though, I think when we get to the mountains, we're not likely to see him getting yet another stage. There we are, that's just a confirmation for you. In fact, it's Van Hazelbeek up there in 4th spot from the Domo team that was trying to go far out. Barton Cook, now that young lad there, 5th spot, first Paris-Nice, quite happy with that to get ahead of Tom Steels. Hushford, the powerful man from the Crédit Agricole, back in 7th spot. Matam, where we had thought he might be in with a shout, but he got the top 10, 8th spot it was. Sanchez in 9th, and young Plancard back into 10th spot. Now then, Pataki, let's go back again to the general classification, because Pataki gets 10 seconds bonus here, by the way, for his finish. He started this morning 8 seconds down on Bodrogi. Now this is fascinating as they come through here, because he gets 10 seconds bonus apart from the stage victory. There he is, bong, he's happy with that one, but he's now equal on time with Bodrogi. Bodrogi, although he's 8 seconds down on Bodrogi this morning, Bodrogi got 2 extra seconds bonus back. So in fact, he would have been 10 seconds down on Bodrogi this morning, and the yellow jersey is out of the frame. So when Pataki comes zooming through, he's now got exactly the same time as Bodrogi, and this will go down to the Czechs in the time trial, down to the tenths and hundredths, because they're equal now at the moment. So that's going to be for the judges to look at, the speed at which young McEwen comes up on the right-hand side there again. McEwen finishes into 3rd spot. Now McEwen gets himself 4 seconds bonus, and McEwen this morning was 7, make it now 9 down. So McEwen has leapt up on the general classification. He's improved his position too just a bit. Kirsipu was a bit off the frame, I think, in the time trial yesterday, so he won't be up there on the rostrum for the yellow jersey. But Pataki now is menacing for the yellow jersey, and he's also got the stage victory too. I'll wait for your confirmation for, oops, there we are, general classification. For the first race this show, we ain't doing badly, you and me. Do you think they'll keep us on for tomorrow, Sean? Well, we hope they do, and we hope you'll join us too. Around about 3 o'clock in the afternoon should be the time start again. Another hard day in the saddle, but this time not the distance. It's going to be a very mountainous stage for them. Bodrogi will be looking, I think, to get that jersey back again off Pataki. Roos there still in 2nd. McEwen, yes, moved up there.